seminary girl. When I stayed, we went to Israel, we went for JWRP. That was like, I think, 3 weeks ago. I don't even know when this trip ended. 10 days, and then I stayed.
Back, Esti.
It's great to be back. As I'm getting off the plane, I'm thinking there's only one place I want to go, my bed. But then I said the other place I want to come is here.
Yay.
So I can share with you what I learned the last 2 days, going from one seminary to another, checking it out. My daughter's there, and she's thinking of doing advanced study now. So this week's Parsha is amazing. It's Vayetzei Yaakov. It could have been called Vayetzei Esti, because I also left Israel. And they say, you know, everything diminishes when you leave, especially at Tzaddik, but it seems the sun is shining there and everything is great. So why does it say Vayetzei Yaakov? Where was he coming from? He just ran away from home. He was chased, he was running for his life, literally. He was in danger. He left under very unfortunate circumstances. So it should have said, Vayivrach Yaakov, that he ran, that he was escaping. I never heard of this one. Very interesting, but it says Vayetzei Yaakov, because instead of focusing on where he was leaving and all the tragedy behind and all the terrible things, it's more about where he was going and what he came to and what opportunities were now available to him. Because from there he went and he learned for 14 years in preparation for his future life in exile, which is Masa Avot Simon Labanim, that whatever happens to our grandparents, great-grandparents, ancestors, helps us. It's spiritual genetics, so to speak. Sometimes you say, you pick up that coffee cup which says, I don't believe that I've become my mother. And sometimes you'll pick one up and you'll say, I don't believe that I've become Rachel Imenu, I've cried for everyone, or I've become Leah, very proactive in making a change in the world. But you have to focus on the challenges ahead and what you could do. So he turned a negative into a positive. This Devar Torah that I'm about to say the next few words came from a taxi driver in Israel who usually have very much wisdom to share. Chacham means Chatzi Kos Malay. Chacham stands for Chatzi Kos Malay. The cup is half full. A smart person will see the cup as half full. I thought it was very good. So from this opportunity came, from a challenge that we all face. We shouldn't just look back at what we just escaped from, the hard times we went through, the challenges, but look what you can get out of it. And they said that the person who gave it is this Rabbi Schuster in school, MRC, I think it's called. You know, it's Midrash's Rachel Cham, but when you say MRC, it always sounds better. And the rest of the Dvar Torah is from Iyat, Eish HaTorahs. But basically, he's saying, like, there was right before the Holocaust, one of the cities, I think it's Yaakov Meir Blau, I'm not sure the name, but Blech. So he was Blach. He said this communist Jewish guy was very angry at these young, religious boys, and he went and told on them, and he said they did something to or whatever, and he literally ran for his life to America. And because he was in America collecting funds, he missed the Nazis and the whole Holocaust, and he survived. So what looks sometimes to be the worst thing in our lives, something terrible happens, it turns out to be a great thing. He says, the speaker, this Rav Schuster, said he was on a train once, the subway in New York, and they make the announcements, everyone's stopping, he says you could never tell what's happening. There was an Israeli couple there, they thought it was a terrorist attack. So he ran over, comforted them, said, no, it's just, the next stop is being whatever. And so he took them, they were going to the Israeli embassy. Anyway, the husband and wife were very impressed with him, liked him, and ultimately, after setting him up with 2 girls that didn't work out, they introduced him to his wife. So what turns out sometimes to be a negative, what we don't know what's going to happen. So that is, I think, the most important message. And of course, this is the parsha with the suram, the ladder. If you're not going up, you're going down. You never stay in the same place. And of course, we live on this world, but we're always aspiring to go higher. And we have Rachel and Leah. And and I always say, get wells in your backyard, best place to meet. Moshe met at the well. Yitzchak got his wife at the well. Yaakov got his wife at the well. And it's interesting, Eliezer, made it all possible. But why the well? Because the well is wisdom. Most of the time what we see is underneath. We don't really see it. You have to work at it, it builds up, and it will come. So my bracha to you all is you should find your children, your grandchildren, those who need it should find the right shidduch. If there's a challenge in life, you should always see it as an opportunity, and you should keep growing up and up and up.
Amen.